Let me ask you some questions. Does the head of your company hand out ice cream to the workers? Refuse fancy perks if you can't have them too? And is he or she making everyone, including secretaries and janitors, rich? Well, if your boss isn't, tonight you may want to meet 49-year-old John Chambers, CEO of Cisco Systems, the fifth most valuable company in America, worth $175 billion. As you're about to see, Chambers' goal is to change daily life on this planet and to lead a company that functions like an Olympic team. No wonder he's called the high priest of good management, or by some, simply the best boss in the country.
Microphone to John Chambers, who's going to
Here is Team Cisco, John Chambers' players, the people who tighten screws, pack boxes, and make out shipping labels. He's come to this theater today to praise them on a big win.
I want to congratulate you on what was the most magnificent quarter I've ever seen. You learn more about people under stress than you do any other time. The answer is we will convert.
Last spring, his employees worked double shifts for 7 straight days to meet Chambers' impossible quarterly deadline, and he's here to tell them why he pushed them so hard.
We don't want to do what some companies like Boeing and others have done, which is you hire a lot of people and then you lay them off. You hire a lot of people and you lay them off. So I'd rather have a little bit of stress on each of us than you be worried about your job. And so let me just ask, are you okay with that strategy? Quick show of hands.
This cozy style and straight talk got John Chambers a big award last year. A business magazine named him the best boss in America. The best boss in America? The best?
Well, I tend to view myself more as a coach.
You're not accepting the crown?
I'll accept the crown as far as being one of the best companies in America, and I think that's what a coach does, is he creates an environment and helps recruit the players and gets them to play together as a team to win.
And so far, Team Cisco has been a big winner. The company manufactures the hardware guts of the internet, the routers and switchers that connect the worldwide systems. And right now, 80% of all internet traffic travels through Cisco gear. Chambers got there first because he foresaw 7 years ago that the then primitive web would explode if businesses could only connect. And now he has another vision. Every home in America wired directly to the internet. And he wants Cisco to do that too. Tell the person sitting at home in their living room how their lives are going to be different 5, 10 years because of what you're doing.
Oh, it's going to change in every way. Your connection to your home will be one connection, and it will do your TV, it will do your phone, it will do your data communications. As we finally learn how to make this easy to use for all of us, you'll use the network much more than you ever dreamed.
In what ways to do what?
Everything. If you can imagine, even at night, we play our piano over the internet now. We bring it down over the network connection, take a wireless connection across the house, and the piano plays anything I want.
His wife of 28 years, Elaine, was his high school sweetheart. They have 2 children.
It will allow us to interface to our friends and families much more conveniently at a much lower cost. You will have 3 to 5 internet devices on your body.
Wait. Interface, first of all.
The way that you communicate with your family.
In other words, you won't have regular phone lines that you're using?
You will use perhaps a network connection that has both phone and video and data combined.
Now, what about your body?
Oh, you may have devices attached to your heart if you're having trouble with your heart that would let your doctor and the hospital know if you had a problem. You could actually have an ambulance.
Going to satellites, you mean? Letting them know how your heart's beating?
Yes, and if your heart's...
Chambers and his team are searching for that single connection to, say, wire every electronic appliance into the internet. So on the commute from work, the car will talk to the house, turn on the lights, turn up the heat, start the CD player. Be home soon. Chambers says to reach really big goals, you need a team that pulls together. So even though Cisco is headquartered in wealthy Silicon Valley, step inside and you won't find plush suites and unlimited expense accounts. Chambers insists that all his executives work out of 12 by 12 offices, including the boss himself.
Hello, John Chambers.
No executive washrooms?
No.
You fly first class?
We all fly coach. If you want to pay for an upgrade yourself, that's your own decision.
Is there a company plane?
Absolutely not.
So when you look around at CEOs of companies who are flying around in their own planes and have their sumptuous offices, what do you think of them?
Multiple management styles work.
Oh, come on.
Well,
Come on. I know you think these guys who take that much money out of the company for their personal convenience have lost something. It is a reflection of values.
I think it's more a reflection of the company culture. In our culture, we're all equals. We give 40% of our stock options to individual contributors, and we will do that for as long as I'm president.
His employees believe in him. They trust him. And why not? 40% of the stock options he gives out each year go to them, regular staff, not management. 2,000 of Cisco's 17,000 employees are already millionaires.
Our average individual contributor, not manager, not VP, not president, has over $250,000 in stock appreciation.
In fact, isn't it like 600,000? That's what we've read.
We try not to focus too much on the financial rewards.
So the answer is yes?
The average employee, and I'm talking about individual contributor, has comfortably over $250,000 a year.
So you're not going to confirm 600,000?
Probably not, no.
All right.
You don't want people to be at a company for money reasons. That's
If the power broker sounds a lot like a politician, well, that's part of him too. But more frequently, he's a preacher who encourages confessions, especially once a month when every employee celebrating a birthday, from janitor to vice president, is invited to a breakfast where they can ask the boss questions, any question they want, including complaints that it's all going too fast.
Given there's a lot of things going on, will Cisco go through another major organizational change in the next 2 years?
How many people believe that change is required for a company to be successful?
And Chambers doesn't stop with balloons and banners. A self-described sweet tooth, he routinely travels the halls of Cisco, handing out not pay raises and promotions, but candy bars and ice cream.
Well, want some ice cream before you leave?
Sweet and tempting bribes.
All right, now part of the agreement is you have to tell me what we should do better as a company.
In-house childcare. Exactly.
We're going to do that. I believe in getting very close to the employees. Now,
but
as I said,
the Boy Scout approach, the sort of candy striper.
I think nice people can win. I don't think you have to be mean to be a good leader.
And you're not worried about somebody ever saying, this is so silly, this thing with the candy and the ice cream.
There's always going to be a certain percentage of your population in the outside world that really questions what you're doing. It's hard to argue with our success, however.
Here before we go, or
and no one's arguing with John Chambers now. Business experts flock to him for his opinion. He's a regular on the financial news programs.
Jump right in. We'll go.
I'll just lead you off.
Easy to go one.
It's a long way from his choir boy childhood in a small town in the hills of West Virginia. Close to his parents, he still calls his father his best friend. Twice yearly, they fish the waters of the United States.
Oh, no, Johnny. Just eating size.
His parents, he says, gave him values and strength to overcome problems. His first hard lesson in life came in grade school as he began failing at the basics. You were actually not able to read?
I had what people now call a learning disability, and probably what would be described as a mild form of dyslexia. And so about the second and third grade, I was having tremendous trouble in class.
You feel dumb?
Yes. And you don't understand why you can't keep up. And then the teacher, whether she or he realizes it, begins to treat you a little bit differently. And I think you could see it in their eyes. They had doubts about would I even be able to graduate from high school or go to college.
His parents intervened and hired a tutor. He did graduate from high school and college, even law school. By the time he collected his business degree, he could get any job he wanted. He started at IBM, then moved on to Wang Computers, where he watched helplessly as top management made mistake after mistake. And there he learned his second painful lesson in life.
I laid off 5,000 people in my last job. We let down our customers, we let down our employees, we let down our shareholders. I'll do anything to avoid that again.
You personally laid off 5,000 people?
Well, I talked to a number of them, and obviously not 5,000, but a number of individuals. And what happens that tears you up is when often the layoffs occur, we like to call it as downsizing, but it really is layoffs. It's during economic time when finding another job is very difficult. And so you look at people in the eye and you realize that you're wrecking their lives and their families.
How did you suffer?
Oh, it about killed me. My dad is my best friend in life, and it was really, really hard, really hard. I couldn't have done it another year.
How often have you seen a CEO choke up with concern for the workers? Chambers remembers turning to his dad during that crisis.
And he was miserable. And he would call home and we would talk about it. He'd talk to his mother as well as to me, just explaining how difficult that was for him to do.
Did you go into a depression?
I don't get depressed. I deal with life the way it is. Did it get me down? Yes.
What was it for you when you were down? How were you different?
Oh, you don't sleep as well. You don't enjoy going to work. You think about the people and the effect you have on them.
In anguish, Chambers quit Wang. After 2 months without a job, he joined Cisco as the number 2 guy. That was in 1990, when his net worth was about $250,000. Less than a decade later, he's worth closer to $400 million. Sometimes the pace at work gets the better of him. After 3 intense days of staff and customer presentations, he loses his voice.
Hey, sir.
He had come down with laryngitis.
Oh, it's tough. My greatest joy in life is communicating, and I'm having fits communicating.
This was a big day for Chambers, his quarterly report to his top managers. He's determined to take the stage, even if he has to squeak
I
by.
want to share with you what we accomplished during Q3 and where we're going to go today. I feel like I'm going through puberty for the second time. And the first time was painful enough.
Chambers, the evangelist, preaching the gospel of internet conversion.
We're in the middle of a revolution. We're going to change everything in this industry.
So the houses of the future, almost every electronic device will have a network connection. So we're
And
working with
homes
Sony,
aren't all
Samsung,
Chambers
and
wants to
others.
change. He's also passionate about education. Cisco has put $20 million into American high schools in all 50 states. These kids at Thomas Edison Tech in Jamaica, Queens, New York have become computer whizzes. Trained by Cisco, they even run the computer systems for the school. And the best boss in America dropped by to say the changing future is their future too. If you could know one thing about him and his life, what would you like to know? Yeah.
I don't want to get too personal, but how much money do you make?
Am I financially secure? Yes. But is almost every Cisco employee has been with us for more than a year financially secure? Yes. But to answer your question very directly, I've been very lucky in the financial reward.
So how much?
A couple million. Money is not a key motivator to me in life. You want to be secure, and I won't disagree with that, but the material things aren't near as important as the other things.
Do a lot of people think you're too good to be true?
I'm not sure I'm as good as you think I am, Diane. I really am passionate about what I believe in, and life isn't very complex. You treat people like you like to be treated yourself. I am so proud of you being here at Cisco. I enjoy being part of your team, and again, I'll be here at the front for anybody who didn't get their questions answered. Thanks very much.